Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Boss Fight Studios Epic HACKS Red Sonja She-Devil with a sword, and this is one that many of us have been waiting for. It seems like it's taken forever to finally get it. I know I've seen a review, like one review of her. I'm not even sure if it was a full production or not, but this is production. Just got it from BBTS. They are in stock now, so you know what? If you like this after it, head on over there and pick it up. Anyway, there we go. I gotta say, quickly looking at it, the face sculpts look pretty good. They looked great when they showed them off. Then there was some other pictures that we went, oh no, 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 no. And then I saw some other pictures and you're like, all right, we're getting back there. Now I'm looking at these, at least through here, and I think it looks good so far. So anyway, we got Red Sonja right there, and then on the back there we have her holding her sword, her 3 different head sculpts. It looks like it says includes 1 of 3 collectible inserts, so we'll see exactly what that is. And again, it gives you a little bio on her, and then there's everything that she does come with. Again, this is I'm trying to think if this was the BBTS exclusive or not. I don't fully remember. Because I know there's a black and white BBTS exclusive that you could have got. Roman's like, yeah, I think it is. Actually, I have no idea. Anyway, there you go. If you want it, head on over and pick it up. Order it if you like it after the review. But thanks, Roman. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. That's great. Thank you. Anyway, I'm not going to start this over. Let's just get into this. Nobody really wants to hear Roman or hear me ramble on anymore. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, this is the first Epic Hacks of the Boss Fight Studios that I'm going to be opening. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Red Sonja review. Alright, so quickly, this is her being pulled out, and I like to do this anytime I first open a figure. But again, this does slide out. We come with the commemorative poster, which is a nice thick cardstock. It's not folded up, which is actually pretty nice. And it does look pretty damn good. Man, this woman is fighting with not a lot of armor on. But I want to show you how this thing comes boxed up. So she is strapped in here. We get the heads, a couple of the different pieces that she has. And then it's just going to kind of open up here and you're going to get everything else, including the stand, sword, axe, different hands, and all that other type of stuff. So I'm going to get it all out so you guys all don't have to watch and listen to the crinkle crinkle, and then we'll get right back to this. All right, got her out, and we're going to take a look at the accessories as we always do first. So quickly, she does come with a stand. It says Red Sonja, just kind of printed on here. 2 different pegs. You guys know my feelings on stands. They're pretty much useless, or at least they should be with a figure this size. Now, I wouldn't mind if you're going to use something like this if she's just going to be standing there alone, because really it's being used as a presenting piece. All right, so we have a few different hands. So we got some punchy hands from her. All right, some nice detail in the leather. It actually looks kind of worn. Even all the way through like the fingertips, like that looks really good. Like there's a lot of detail in that rather than it just being nice and smooth. I would assume this one is going to be the exact same way. You can even see where the stitching is supposed to be. Then we have a open gloved hand. And again, you can tell that's how the stitching is supposed to be because it's the same on both, all right? And even on the inside, nice detail right there. Here we have what I'm assuming is some sort of hand to hold the sword or the axe. Again, with everything, same detail, no matter what. There's only, all right, so that's the only hands that we have. Felt like there was more, but there was other stuff. She has a couple different gauntlets here, which that leather matches the same as the hands. So that texture is really good. And again, this figure is $50, so it's not cheap, but it's not overly expensive. But that is nice and soft, and it should fit on fairly easily. And same with this one. All right. Here we have a belt for if you decide to either go away from that. And this is where I'm assuming you're going to be able to slide the sword to hold the sheath on it. There's the belt. Oh man, that is pretty sweet. So you get the belt buckle here. You get the nice little paint right there that's going to go through it. And then it's tied because it's so long. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone else have detail like that, where they go ahead and do something like that. But I think that is awesome. That it's made so it's tied here. It's so long that it's going to wrap around and drop down. It has a peg right here, so I'm assuming it probably pegs it in the side of her, so it's not supposed to be floating. I know the G.I. Joe Classified Scarlet has something very similar, but it does not stay in place like you would hope that it would. So this is for her thigh. All right, so she already has 2 of them on there, but one actually has the sheath for the dagger. So if you want to remove the dagger, you can put this on in place of it. And you do have some nice detail. Again, very flexible. Nice looking color, and once again, it has that look of leather to it. But all that detail looks real nice. So if we had to wait this long, hopefully everything comes out looking, you know, as good as it is so far right now. So these are for her upper arms, and even these look like they've had a little bit of wear. You can kind of see a mark there. Nice paint apps right there. You can see the way this is worn into it. And it's very flexible. So it should be able to hopefully slide right up her arm. And by the look of it, it looks like it kind of opens up this way. So I would assume that would mean it slides up this way, not the other way. And then on this one here, this is a different one. And this is one of those rings that just kind of wraps completely around. And you can see where it starts here. It's going to go all the way around. A nice little ruby or gem or something on it. And then your top piece right there. So again, very flexible. This should slide up fairly nicely. We have another loincloth that she's definitely going to need, because we'll just say she's not wearing panties. All right. So we get a little bit more chain here. Or like a little bit of armor, not very much. But in this one, she's actually wearing like a loincloth around it. I guess just to cover her up a little bit more. And there went that little piece. Alright. So right up here, you got a nice little tie on it. It looks good. This is not one of those ones that seem to be, that's plugged in. So I don't think we have to worry about the tassels breaking off of it, which is good. And again, look in there, you can see just the way the texture is supposed to be. Here it's held together, and then we have the back piece. Again, nice detail in the armor. Again, I don't know what you're really protecting with this little amount. Like, you're gonna hope that this is not where they hit you. I'm sure someone's gonna, you know, make a comment and be like, "That's not what that's for." And we're like, all right. And then we have another shoulder pauldron for her. All right, so she's gonna be able to protect one shoulder, and then the other side is going to protect her trap, which is always nice. It's got a nice little chain going right across here with a nice little blue, and then you have the gold. But this does look good, very pliable. Now it is going to peg into her back, so you're not going to have to worry about it floating too much. But even here, you can tell it looks like it's taken a little bit of damage. Now, what makes me laugh the most about this, if they can hit all of this, why can't they hit one of the exposed parts? All right, but there again, once again with the leather, nice detail. I mean, really nice detail. I am really impressed. You know, I have one small hack, and then I've had the Saurosauric Warriors, which I thought were really good, nice plastic. So here's her axe, and there's a straight test. It's pretty straight. It's pliable enough, but it's not going to be bendy. Not super sharp like a NECA, which is good because, oh man, those things can be a pain. So here we're going to take a look at the handle. It has nice detail right through it. All right, so you can see how it's stitched around. So she actually has something to grab and it's not super smooth. The detail on the blade, you can tell this thing has been beat up. It's got nicks right through here, a couple lines right there. There's a big gouge out of it. Same with on the back. Got a nick there. This side looks like it's taken a little bit more damage. So I like the fact that it's not the exact same on both sides. They made it different. Then you have the top piece here that I'm assuming you can also use it as a weapon. And on the back we have what I would assume is the counterweight. Here's her dagger. Again, straight test, pretty straight. A little bit of flexibility. It doesn't hurt the poke, again, not like a NECA and some other brands. There's your handle, which I'm going to say, it looks like it has a little bit of paint on the inside there. The counterweight on the back, your guard, and then as you kind of go up here, you can see that it looks like it has a couple little dinks. I hope that's not paint. I don't think that's paint. So that looks nice. We got your sword sheath, which is brown and gold with a little bit of texture running through it. Now this is what we see a lot of the leather look like. It is going to plug in somewhere on her. And I do think the paint looks real good. I don't see any paint rubbing. I don't see any overspray on anything. But I do like the fact that when you look at this, I know before someone says, well, that's just the texture of the, of the plastic. In here, you can see that this is kind of a leather, and then you have a strap that goes around that has a smooth texture to it. So it's giving you a nice little depth there. It looks to be the same color, but when it's smooth compared to the texturized, I think you see it look like it's a little bit darker. I don't think that's painted, but I might be completely wrong. And then we're going to take a look at the sword. And once again, straight, a little bit of flex, doesn't hurt the poke. Again, I wouldn't give this to a 5-year-old. And then you have a nice thick blade. All right. Not really no battle scars on it, which is kind of odd with the detail we saw in everything else. You would think there'd be a little bit more detail, but I'm not going to complain too much. There you have your nice guard, nice little ruby or whatever it is in the middle, and then you have your grip and then your counterweight right down there at the bottom. Again, looks pretty good. And how well does it sheath into the sheath? Nice and tight. Not going to have to worry about this thing coming out. It is super tight. So there's all the accessories. Now let's take a look at these alternate heads. So here we have a very stoic looking face and very, very red hair. All right. Nice little hoop earrings. She's wearing some nice lipstick. Those eyes look really good. This is on par with some of the Mythic Legions that I've seen. I'm not going to lie. I think this looks really good. The paint detail, in my opinion, isn't as good as, let's say, the Mythic Legions. And I'm only comparing it because they're similar in price. But I'm not going to complain about this, especially considering this looks like this is the actual color of the mold of the plastic, which is good. Something I've learned about the G.I. Joe O-rings recently. But she has, what, those emerald green eyes? So Emerald Knight, you better be getting this and doing some pictures with it. Looks like she's wearing some eyeshadow. You get the white around it. And then you get the nice black pupil. Now I'm trying to look and see, is that paint? So it looks like maybe they didn't get the full paint on where the eyebrow is, and maybe I'm wrong. You're really, it's hard to see. It's hard to see in person. The camera's going to pick up a lot more I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to run. Not bad. I'm not going to complain about that because when I look at it over, you don't notice at all. And then when you look at this hair, I think they did a really good job. It is molded onto it, so you don't have to worry about it coming off. And you have a lot of strands in it. It definitely looks like they put some tone in it. So this is not just plain red. So not only do you have all this detail within the hair, you also have a different color texture, which I think is awesome. Here we have a yelling face. She's clearly mad. Again, the eyes look the same. It does look like maybe, I mean, the eyebrow there, it almost looks like maybe they missed some paint or they painted a little off, which is kind of disappointing, I'm not going to lie. It's hard to tell for sure, but I don't think it's supposed to split like this. I am totally splitting hairs right now. So before anyone says, you're over criticizing, I'm just pointing stuff out. All right? That's all that I'm doing. She has the red rosy cheeks. Again, the eyes. I love the fact that you can see all the individual teeth. Now, that is amazing because I think that it is awesome when we see teeth on people. And this is really showing how good people look with teeth. And then you got the nice red lipsticks. And then once again, we're going back to the hair. All right. And again, it looks like they put some color into it, some tone. So you have what looks, I guess they're not individual strands, but big chunks. You really see the waviness. I think this really pops. There's no doubt about it. Now let's get to the figure. And here we have this figure. And another stoic face. This is more of an angry, all right, shit's about to happen. This is a stoic, like, I'm listening. This is, all right, you done fucked up. All right? I try not to swear too much, but every now and then, you gotta swear a little bit. So, this is the point where, again, I swore, if you have little kids, you may not want them to watch this because the one reviewer that I did see, she is completely exposed. And I'm not trying to be that type of pervert, but I'm going to show you how she looks. So, looking at this face, I think this face looks good because this is a, well, let's be honest. Many of us men have gotten this look before. All right? But the eyebrows look really good on this. Nice lip. Nice lipstick there. I mean, it really hit. I mean, I think just the way that it's supposed to. You got the wonderful eyes. That face sculpt is awesome. I mean, they've given us 3 really good face sculpts. And like I said, the only one that I have an issue with, to be honest, is where that eyebrow looks broken. That's like the only thing. And again, it's, I guess you can see it without looking at the camera. So once again, we're going to get the hair with the tone in it. And you kind of get all the strands just kind of flowing through there. As for her armor up here, it's just some sort of metal that it's supposed to be. You see a nice little rivet right there kind of holding this thing together. We got the chain armor bra, I guess is what you would call it. Dude, this thing's going to fall off, or fall down, shall I say. All right, and I think that looks really good because the way that it's stitched together. So you have different tones of paint in here, and then you can just see the way that it is stitched together. I think that looks really good, where the clasp is. And then looking here on the at the back, this is pegging in also, which is going to hold this exactly where we want it. Oops. That's what I'm talking about. So then you got the nice leather straps. You have the connector right here. And we'll just plug that thing right back in here. But same thing on the back here. All right, so this is going to be the same as this. not doing that on purpose. But I really didn't show as much detail on this as I am right now here. So once again, you can kind of see the detail. It is the same as with her bra. And then we have the leather here with the brass hoop there holding it together. And then we have the gauntlets or the gloves. I don't know. I think I got yelled at for calling it a gauntlet when it wasn't. But again, you got the nice seam right here. I love the seam. This just adds so much to your to photography if that's what you're looking for. All right. But all through it, you can tell this is a leather style glove that she's using. Here we have the sheath for the knife, and we have the same type of strap right there. And again, that detail all through it. And even there, it looks like it has a nice little mark. And then we have the same detail right around there. I'm sorry, her ass keeps showing up. All right, on down to her boot. You can tell that this is the, whoever was making her wardrobe, they were creating everything all at once, all leather. So you get this nice leather boot. A couple pieces where you can see it's going to slide on. It's going to wrap around her calf. And then you have the nice little stitching right across there. A little bit of a heel. And again, all throughout this, you can see the stitching. I think this looks awesome. How does she stand? That is the giant question, because as you know, I don't like to use stands. And I'm just trying to stand her normal. So she does stand fairly easily. But now let's take a look at her articulation before we start. Well, I guess I also... There's other things I guess I got to show off here. All right. So looking at her arm and how the break is, I think it looks pretty good. She does have some muscle tone to her. She has a diaphragm cut like most females do. Now there is a little bit of a gap. I wonder, once we move it, I think the gap's going to disappear. They actually did the belly button. All right. It doesn't really have a six-pack, but has a very small waist. All right. Going down through her legs, same thing. You can kind of see where the knees are at. So there's not a lot of muscular definition in her. You got the small of the back, and then even on the back, we even got the crack of her butt. I'm almost scared to look at the front. I guess. It's just plain like a Barbie. And yes, this does come off too. And there is no nipples, so I guess it still keeps it going that Big Boa might be the only figure with nipples. All right, as for the articulation, we're going to take a look at it before we start accessorizing her. She can't really look up because the hair doesn't move. All right, so that is somewhat of an issue, but I don't know how much you need to look up with a figure like this. She can look down at her womanly body, side to side. All right. Very smooth figure. Very smooth. Almost a loose. I guess she's not loose, but very smooth. So there's your T-pose, your bicep swivel, double pinless elbows. A huge range of motion right there. All right. Doesn't feel as solid. I mean, it feels good, but almost feels kind of flimsy. But at the same time, some of my classified females, their arms have already come off when I've tried doing this. She has butterfly joints, where it does look like, and I'm sorry if someone thinks I'm going too in depth. She has butterfly joints where she will be able to hold the sword the way she's supposed to, which makes me extremely happy. She has a diaphragm cut. Again, at certain points, it actually shows a break. I don't like that, but sitting here like this, not a problem. She has a waist swivel, and she's able to move back and forth. I'm not going to lie, this being how it is kind of bothersome. I would rather it where it sets properly, but then if you use pegs or anything, you may have an issue where it doesn't stay, or it breaks the aesthetic to it. Her Jean-Claude Van Damme, well, one leg goes out pretty well. And drop down hip, okay. Great Jean-Claude Van Damme. Not drop down hips because she has a big piece there that connects. All right. She can kick straight up. God. I'm gonna be so demonetized by the end of this. video. And then double pinless knees. Let's just say pose this figure and then put the skirt where you want it to go. All right. So she doesn't have a thigh cut, which kind of makes sense, but it does turn here. So you still get a good amount of mobility there. Then you have your ankle rocker and no boot cut. So you can see this stuff comes right off. No problem at all. As for this piece here, I'm trying to figure out what's the easiest way to get that thing to come off. Man, I don't want to pop her in half. It is flexible, but I don't want to break it. I mean, I feel like if I try and push it, my God. So it must come off the top of her. So let's pop the head off, see how easily the head comes off. Head comes off nice and easily, no problem there. We're going to take this piece off, because let's give her at least a little bit of armor, right? I think I have to take this whole thing off here. Can't believe I'm doing this. But hey, while you're watching this, please take a second, hit that like button if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, and know that I don't normally undress my action figures. Now, I'm sure we could probably pop certain parts off. I'd rather not if I don't have to. And then I'm assuming we can probably ride this up. So I can tell you when I put the other skirt on, that's what's staying on her. And this is just a pain in the ass, as you might be able to tell. Wow. I feel like there must have been an easier way. See? Okay. So her body pops in half. There's probably people yelling right now going, why don't you just do that? So her body pops in half. We're going to take this off. I'm going to throw this on here. I have a feeling that this is going to set a little bit better. All right. I don't think it's going to move as much. I think it looks better. I don't need a naked figure. I'll be 100% honest. I don't need a naked female figure. I know some people are absolutely in love with that type of stuff. It's just not my thing. All right. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies, but they don't belong in the newsroom. Obviously, I have too much time on my hands right now as I'm doing this. Now, to get this thing back on, I'm definitely regretting taking this thing off. But I am showing you guys what not to do because, well, I'm an idiot. All right. So, but I will say this, it seems to be made of pretty good material, considering it has not broken off yet. All right. So, there we got her bra back on. This piece here. And let's just pop. See, this is what I'm worried about. How hard is this to pop it back on? All right, so that popped on fairly easy. And then we're going to take her little bracelets. I don't know if there's a specific way that it's supposed to go on. I don't think it matters. Just kind of use your, whatever you like. So we're going to slide it. Okay, so let's do this all over. Because I don't know why they give you two different gauntlets. So we're going to slide that up onto her. I have no problem changing out the head, but I'm not interested in constantly changing all of this stuff out. So there's that. You can clearly see the hands come out pretty easily. So we'll pop this hand off also. And again, I have not heated anything up. And this moves pretty smoothly. I mean, I don't have any issues at all with the way this is moving. Now, I will say this stuff will probably fall down, although it is pretty tight. So, hopefully it doesn't move too much, as that is one of the biggest issues with, I know, let's say G.I. Joe Classified as thigh holsters that don't have a connection tend to fall off. All right, so this piece here, I guess if she wants to be naked, what the hell am I missing? Seriously, there is so much here. There really is a lot. So, I do believe that piece is going to plug in here. Well, it will eventually. So that will plug in there. I don't know how well it's going to stay. All right. But I think that's how it's supposed to go, because there's no reason to have a peg. Actually, this, man, I don't know. Trying to figure out how that thing is supposed to go in there. I know someone's going to go like, you are so stupid, and you might be absolutely correct. But this is what you get. First-hand experience, the same way that I'm getting it. So that piece would plug into there. Then you have the sheath in the back, I guess. And the sword pops in here, maybe. So I think the sword might pop into here. Okay. So this has to go on. So we got to pop her off again. I'm going to throw this on here. Then we're going to plug that right there. And this might just be too much. And again, thank you guys for sticking around, the people that are sticking around. I did not expect this to take this long. But this is the first hand, like just the way that I like to do things. And I fully understand if you are not interested in sticking around. But then again, if you're not, then you wouldn't still be here. And I'm just talking to myself. All right. So that piece goes there. Sword is going to go right into that. Maybe. Oh. Axe is going to go back here. It is a pain just to get her armored up. Just to get her fully armored up. And you feel like a total pervert when doing it. Alright. This is going to be a 40-minute video. Expect it to be 30, not 40. Alright. So there we go. No head, but there we go. The figure itself feels great. All right, 100%. The figure itself feels great. Getting to this point and watching a review, maybe not so much. But I do appreciate all of you, so please hit that like button so you can fool other people into being like, wow, how did he really do so long on this? All right. Now, quickly, I want to take a look at the two different gauntlets. So one gauntlet is open. These ones are not. So it looks like we had a couple open ones. I think we can go with the non-open ones. I would say don't do a review like this. Because it's my style, not yours. But what I will do is continue to talk to you and give you conversations. And I said before, I was saying this, I cannot wait to get the Mezco Conan so I can pair it up with her. And then people can yell and scream and say that those two don't go together. See how this thing falls down? That is going to drive people nuts, especially for the photography. All right, now we're going to put this gauntlet on her. Not gauntlet, this. I'm losing my train of thought. Pauldron. And we're just going to pop that right inside there. I do like this. If I can get it to slide in there. I know, that's what she said. It's very soft. There we go. And everything is meant to stay in place. But I'm not sure if anything is going to, if that makes sense. All right. I'm going to pop the angry, not my angry hand. From that angle, it didn't look like she was angry. Head pops right on. And now we're going to take our sword. And see, she can cross over, which is awesome, right? So I think that looks really good. As for her wrists here, they can angle down like that. So she can be stabbing, let's say, a big giant Mythic Legion dragon when you get it. Now, she has a lot of play, which I'm not sure if that's going to make her easy to stand or not. So there you go. How does her head turn? Now, the problem is she can't really look up. So I can say I don't like that. I wish the hair was a little bit more pliable so I can get her to look up at where she's poking someone. But unfortunately, you can't. And like I said, you have all these other hands, so we can do other things with it. You can take the sword off here. We can kind of throw the axe on here. And so here we have her attacking you with the dagger and her axe. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this figure onto 1 foot, as she's very loose. Like, this stays in place, but she's very easy to move around. All right. So I'll try and with the 1 foot method here. That arm looks crazy. Now she kind of looks like she's doing some sort of weird dance. And you see the belt's all out of place. Like, around her legs, they do move. I mean, they're not as tight as they should be. All right, so that's going to be an issue with doing a lot of different poses. So I did get her on 1 leg. I mean, it is possible, but it is loose. It kind of reminds me of the G.I. Joe Classified Firefly. All right. So now that we got her all set up, we're just going to leave her here for a second. Let's do a little bit of size comparison. All right, for size comparison, quickly we'll grab this G.I. Joe Flint. This is the retro Flint, and she's about the exact same height. And I grabbed him because, once again, he's a male compared to the female buck here. Here is the new Marvel Legends Punisher. Again, just about the same height, a little bit taller than she is. Oh boy, just knocking things over. Here we have Street Fighter Bison. He looks, yeah, just almost the same height, maybe on the angle of the camera. She might even be a little bit taller. Here we're going to get a Mythic Legions. Now he's kind of crouched, and I don't want to stand him up because it's the way he's supposed to be standing, or he's in my display. So about the same height as these, which I thought that these figures were supposed to be. Now you can see I have his knees bent. So he's probably a little bit taller. That's probably a horrible. There is a Savage Crucible that now can stand because they fixed their knees, or their feet. Now again, he is crouching, so you can see that he's actually going to stand taller than her. Let's get a little A-walk action. This guy doesn't even know why. He's like, what? Oh, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. So they're taller. A Masterverse He-Man. As you can see, he is much taller, which is fine, but she, I think, would fit in, other than he looks like he maybe has a little bit sun and she has none. And then a Mythic Legions Thrace, who they stand about the exact same height. So again, I think this is going to fit in with all of your 6-inch figures. You know, Masterverse here is based on a 7-inch, but again, it's not a problem to have a female that's smaller than, let's say, He-Man. But again, Red Sonja, I would assume, is supposed to be a little bit bigger. She's not supposed to be tiny. And again, I think she actually matches up really well against the Savage Crucibles, which this is the only one that I do have. But again, your lore, your headcanon, you do what you want with it. But I think it's time to wrap this up, because you guys have spent a long time here watching this, which I definitely do appreciate. Alright, so there you go. That is the Boss Fight Studios Epic HACKS Red Sonja, a figure we've been waiting on. And I have some thoughts on it. And one thing is, sometimes less is more. And what I mean by that is, she has a lot of points of articulation from her legs, and her waist, her arms. But when you have all these pieces moving around and they plug in together, in theory it sounds really good, but I would have much rather had this actually sculpted into her, right? I don't need to actually see what her privates look like. I don't need to see her ass hanging out there. I don't. That's just me. The bra stays on really well. That wasn't a problem. But down here, even if you wanted to make it so it came off, if it wrapped completely around so it wasn't just a loincloth, and I understand back in the day that's probably how it was supposed to be or how they wanted it to be, but if it was molded in, it would make dealing with this figure way easier. I think it's going to be great for pictures, but I think you're going to spend a lot of time being frustrated getting it in the poses that you're hoping for. The face sculpts, I think, are awesome. One little issue with the eyebrow. I know someone's going to say, oh, you're overanalyzing it, you're ruining it, but I'm just giving you my full review and what I see. I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing out when something's wrong. It doesn't make it bad. I think the weapons, I think everything she comes with, and I think for 50 bucks, I don't think it's bad. I just think that there's some things, you know, again, sometimes less is more. And I think all of this kibble here, as awesome as it looks, it takes time to get it into place. So if you bought her for doing pictures, you're probably going to struggle getting it in the pictures that you want. If you're going to set it up, put her on the stand and leave her there, you might be super happy with it, because there's so much depth and so much perspective into this with all the detail. I think you're really going to like it. So anyway, that's it. I don't know what else to say. I am going to get out of here, but you stayed this long, and I mean, you stayed a long time, and I appreciate it. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Boss Fight Studios Red Sonja or anything type of video like that. Now, I don't have anything to compare this to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it up here, and I'm going to leave a Mythic Legions right up here, one that I just did. Let's say like Sir Gideon right there. And down here will be a playlist of, let's just say, the Mythic Legions, because I think she fits in probably best with that. Take care.